Who have we got? All the regulars. And Gordon. Hey, Gordon.
Aye, aye,
I've seen your name for years on orders and emails, but I don't think we've ever met you before.
This is my first time ever at one of your workshops,
Yeah.
ever. Yeah,
Okay.
I started following your dad back in 2009,
Okay.
but it was just, I've only, just like the classes that you put on your website. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, I've only ever done that. I've never had a partner or nothing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just practiced the forms and that.
Okay. Cool.
I've done a
Oh
little
well.
bit of everything. I've done a
Yeah.
little, yeah, a little bit of Bagua, a little bit of Sansa, a little bit of
Yeah.
Armachar. Yeah, and just the first stab of the young Luchan.
Excellent. All right. Well, this will give you a nice little introduction to at least, having some kind of group session for you
Yeah,
rather than just sit staring at a standalone DVD.
yeah, just looking
Yeah.
into them.
Good.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this for years, but every time I go to do this, something comes up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you let things slide.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah,
All
cool.
right then. Let's
Yeah,
get moving and see how we go.
cool. Ethan started. Okay.
All right, that'll do us. All right, let's start moving. Get these bodies warmed up. Let's take the hands out to the sides. Breathing in. Pushing up onto the balls of your feet. Stretching up above your head. And down through the center. Breathing out. Again, breathing in, taking your hands out, rotating your palms outward, so you're externally rotating the shoulders as you lift up. You're also pinching the shoulder blades back, squeezing the shoulder blades towards the spine as you lift up, and back down. Again. And down. Really make sure at the top you're reaching, you're stretching as tall as you possibly can. Your chest is pushing up, you're looking up towards your hands, just like you're trying to grab the roof a little bit. And then bring it back down. Move your spine. So you're going to stick your bum out by downwardly rotating your pelvis. Curving your lower back, bending your knees. Pushing your chest forwards. Looking up. Drawing your elbows back. And then drawing your palms back. Everything's pulled back. Then you breathe out and let everything curl back up into a ball. So pelvis tucks under. Head goes down, shoulders round, palms fold in front of your head. Do the reverse, open it back up as you breathe in. And close it back up as you breathe out. Particularly at this point when we open up, make sure you pinch your shoulder blades back and down. Don't let them come up towards your ears. Push them down. Squeeze them down, engaging that lower trapezius muscle. Hinge your body forward, just to where it's comfortable. If you're okay here, just at 45 degrees, you can do the exercise here. If you're okay coming down to 90 degrees, that's a little better. Puts a bit more pressure, a bit more warmth into your body. So do it to how it feels comfortable for you. Relax your spine. So you're letting your whole spine just hang down. Then straighten your spine back up. Then relax it again. Then straighten it again. And relax it again. Straighten it again. Relax. And roll up. Open your body up a bit at the top. And relax. Open, close. Fully open up and close it back down. Open it back up and close it back down. Come back to neutral. Same thing again. Hinge forward either to 45 degrees or 90 degrees if you can. This time, we're still going to relax the back to start. Relax the head, everything hangs down. But as you straighten your spine this time, just lift your palms out to the sides, squeezing your shoulder blades back and down, externally rotating your shoulders. Relax back down. Same again. Straighten your spine, pull your shoulders out. This time you're going to lift your shoulders, or your palms rather, overhead. Take them all the way back the other way. Down, pinch your shoulder blades back and down. Over your head again. Touch, keeping your spine nice and straight. This time link your fingers behind you. Be careful with this one. You might just want to stay there, but if you can, you're going to push your shoulders up. And relax your spine. And you're relaxing your spine as your shoulders are pushing overhead. Then release your arms and roll up. In breath as you come up and out breath. Okay, let's get the legs warmed up. Standing parallel. Elbows to opposite knees. You put your weight into the leg which you are bending down towards. Use your legs to bend your knee down. You do still lean forward as well, but don't just lean forward. You want to bend your knees, squat your knees down. Go to where it's comfortable again. You might only get to here. You might only get halfway. If you can get all the way to touch the knee, lovely. But if you can't, just go to where it's comfortable. Keep your spine straight as you go down. Sink it down. Bring it back up. So do not round your back with this exercise. The weight is going, again, as I said, my weight is going over here, you see? And then my weight is shifting back the other way. The other arm is just spiraling out to the rear, squeezing that shoulder blade down. Notice my whole body is twisting into the movement. In breath, out breath. In breath up, out breath down. Getting those glutes warmed up, hamstrings. That should warm your bums up nicely. We'll do the second variation of that. Again, you can continue if you're already finding that variation difficult, just do that one again. But if you want to move on to the next one, we'll do that one now. I'm going to face this way this time, so it's a little bit less confusing because we're spinning. You're going to pivot on both balls of the feet. So your feet are facing the front. We'll call that the north. you're going to pivot so your front leg pivots 135 degrees. So it will be facing out to the southeast, to the rear corner for that standing leg. I do put my heel back on the ground. When I get there, the rear toe is on the ground and that rear foot is facing out here to the front corner, to the northeast, like so. Then you lift back up onto the balls of the feet, come back, drop the heels. Twist out to the other side, so pick up the heels and twist, drop that front heel back down, and again I've turned 135 degrees. Pivot back to the front. This time do the same thing again, but when you get there, you see you're going to do that exactly the same thing we just did with our body, maybe to here, or maybe all the way down to touch. But keeping the spine nice and straight, so I'm not rounding my back, you see. Keeping the spine straight, this one's coming out to the rear. You'll feel it even more in the glute now. Twist it back up. Pivot. This is getting you ready for these types of postures in your Taiji and Bagua forms. Just a simplified version. Strengthening your body, so your body doesn't freak out when it gets to these postures in your Taiji form or Bagua form. If you can, touch that rear knee on the floor without putting any weight into that knee. So it just means you've got to go a little bit lower into the posture. Again, the weight is in the front leg and tapping that knee on the floor at the rear. Okay, let your legs have a rest. Take a wide stance. Again, sink down to what's comfortable for you. So I've got a roughly about a double shoulder width stance here to start. Just nice and relaxed. Turn your foot out towards the side, and then you're going to sink down into that leg. Okay, just bend it a little bit. Bring it back up, turn the toe in, turn the toe out, and sink a little bit into that leg. Not too much to start, just ease your way in. Just make sure that your weight is staying in the heel, particularly of that standing leg, the one you're going into. Don't let your weight come up onto the toes. Keep your weight in your heel. Bring it back in, turn it out, and just gradually, listening to your own body, going a little bit lower each time, okay? Listening to your body with the aim to get your elbow down again to your knee, okay? So my body is leaning down over that side. I'm keeping my body open to the front as I'm doing the movement. I'm not closing my body to this side like this, you see? I'm keeping my body open as I go down to the front. So I'm really doing a very strong side lunging action. Again, getting you ready for things like snake creeps down or duck lands on water. These kind of postures later on in your forms. You don't have to be going this low, remember. Maybe you can go a few low, but then your legs are going, oh, it's too hard. You don't want to strain yourself. So you might do, 5 or 10 low, and then if I'm still going, maybe you do a few higher ones just to cool down, relax back down into it, you see? You don't have to do everything exactly as I'm doing it. Your strength levels, your flexibility levels, they're going to always vary. You might be stronger than me, so you might have already started low before I even got low. So, yeah, listen to your own body. Okay, now we'll do a front on lunging action. So just stepping straight forward. This one though, we're going to use more of a stay there and a wriggle around and stretch your body around a little bit, you see? So we're just going to move our bodies in this position. I'm going to push from that rear leg. I'm going to point the toe, flex, push the heel back down into the ground to stretch the ankle around. I'm going to be stretching through this back leg, through this hip joint here. That's nice. And obviously just sinking and moving around this front leg, getting all of these muscles warmed up. And then switch sides. Same thing, just stretch and lengthen into that back leg. Point the toe, push the heel back, move your body around. Nothing specific here, no specific thing. I mean, apart from it being a front lunge, but just wriggling, just moving your body around. No one's looking at you. Even I can't see you. You're all these tiny little screens over there at the moment. Till I get my bigger screen. So, you know, no one can see that you look silly. Just move your body around. You can all see that I look silly, but at least you guys don't get looked at. Okay, relax out of that one. Okay, let's try a few squatting actions, full squatting actions. Remember, if you can't squat, then it's because of flexibility. It's I don't think I've ever seen someone not be able to squat because of strength. It's almost, yeah, as I say, I've never seen that. So generally speaking, 99.9% of the time, it's got to be flexibility, mobility that stops you being able to squat properly. When I say squat, I mean, you know, a full, proper squat down into the ground. So we're going to try some squatting actions. Obviously, if you can't do a full squat, then just squat down to where your limit is before you fall over or break structure. So probably what's going to feel, if you're tight, you're going to start squatting down, you feel like you're going to fall backwards. So the first thing to do is lean forward to stop yourself falling backwards and get as low as you can. And then if you try to go low and this happens and you just fall backwards, then what you need to do is you need to put something underneath your heels to lift up, prop up your heels in the interim. Okay, this will allow you to do the full movement and start stretching out those muscles, but only use a platform big enough that allows you to do it. Don't use a platform bigger than you need, otherwise you'll never get anywhere, you see. So fiddle around with something, you know, a few little I don't know, coasters or something, something you can change the height of them by adding layers. So you can put, you know, 3 layers in and think, okay, boom, yep, that was really easy. So maybe I'll try 2 layers. And then 2 layers is like, oh, okay, yep, that's hard. So 2 layers is good. And then, you know, gradually with time, with other stretching as well, maybe you can bring that down to 1 layer and then down to no layers and do the full squat. You can also hold on to something. If you grab hold of something, you can hold on to anything you can grip hold of, because it stops you again from falling backwards onto the floor. Okay, so feet parallel, shoulder width-ish. Again, exactly, you know, how shoulder width it should be. That'll vary depending on your body, but, you know, somewhere around that sort of width. And you're just going to squat. So just sink down. Again, as you say, hold something. You could hold a weight, you know, a little dumbbell or something that keeps your body forward from falling backwards. But just sink down, or just don't go as low. You know, there's several different options that I've just given you. Okay. Now, what you're going to do from here is you're going to stand up. And just relax. Breathe out. We're going to do a qigong in a moment that involves this squat, but I just want to get you used to the squat first before we do any of the other stuff. Okay, so again, sinking down, push your weight down through your heels, sink. If you can't do it, remember, grab something. Do one of the things that I just suggested so that maybe you can do it. You're going down, oh, can I do it? Can I do it? A lot of the time also, squatting, it's kind of a confidence thing. So sometimes I'll hold someone's hands, you know, you can pair up with a partner. not something we can really do with an online class. But you can pair up with a partner, and I'll hold your hands and go, come on, yep, you're okay, you're not going to fall. Oh, yeah, okay. And then eventually they'll go right down, I'll let go of their hands, and they'll stay there. So they can actually do it. It's just that they've never been in that position before. And so their body's kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So by holding on to something, it really gives you a bit of safety as you're going down. And as I say, you can just grab anything. Grab a weight of some kind, maybe something heavier than that, something more like that. Hold the weight out in front of you. When you go down, then it's stopping you from falling backwards, you see. Okay, we're now going to do a Qigong called the triple heater Qigong. We'll start off without the squat. We're going to do one round without the squat. Then we'll do a second round with the squat. And obviously you do your squat and I'll do my squat. So to whatever level you can manage based on what we've just been looking at there. Okay. Yeah, so just keep in mind that your natural squat like that is one of the most fundamental natural human movements we should be doing. It's not, a lot of people think squatting is some extreme flexibility thing because they're so not used to natural movement. But all children can squat. Okay, and if you keep squatting your whole life, all adults can squat, such as all the Asians. And the French people. The French are really good at squatting. When I do a French workshop and I've got 50 people in front of me, maybe 5 people can't squat. When I do a British workshop or an American workshop or, I don't know, an Australian workshop, a lot of other places, it's kind of the reverse. Maybe not quite that bad, but maybe 50-50. Like so many more people can't squat. So yeah, we've really got to start making sure you can do fundamental human movements. That is such a basic human movement is squatting. So good for your health to be able to do that. Not like a, extreme contortionist bending yourself into funny positions. It's just a natural movement. Okay, let's try this one. So follow along, hands just out to the front like so. All you're going to do is just follow me through. All the upward movements are in breaths and the downward movements are out breaths. Very simple. Okay, you're going to rock your weight into the balls of the feet, bringing your hands up the middle, breathing in. And then sink back down into the heels as you press your palms down, like you're scooping up something, like you're picking up a big boulder, something like that. Then again, you rock forward onto the balls of the feet. Fold your hands in at chest height and push them down as you sink back to your heels. Trying to keep everything nice and soft. Open the hands out. Again, pick up that Atlas stone and breathe in, coming forward to the balls of the feet. And breathe out, sinking back into the heels. Again, open the hands out. Breathing in. Breathing out, sinking back into the heels. That's 3 of the low section. We're going to do the same start, sinking, scooping, but this time we're going to lift up, right up to upper chest height with the palms up. Rotate your hands out as you hold the breath at the top. Press your palms away. And breathe out as we drop. Sinking back into the heels. Obviously this movement goes straight into the squat because the hands are coming down from the sides. Lifting up, weight coming into the balls of the feet. There's that upper section of the breath. And then breathing out. So you're not truly holding the breath at the top, but you're getting to that, like when you're yawning, when you yawn, you go, it just lingers at the top for a little bit before you breathe out. It's the same thing here. So you breathe in, hold it, and breathing out. So that's 3 of the middle section. Now we're going to do 3 of the upper section. Same thing again, just lifting it up through the middle, but pressing your palms right up above your head this time. Your palms are facing upwards. And then sinking back into the heels and breathing out. Back into the heels. Scooping up again, weights coming gradually into the balls of the feet. Notice at about chest height, the palms rotate. So they're going to push palms up to the ceiling as your weight's coming into the balls of the feet. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now we're going to do sort of like the first one. We're just going to bring the hands up the center. Fold them in and push down. Okay, so that's one round through the Qigong. Triple heater meridian. Triple heater meridian is a good one because it's kind of not so specific like the heart or the lung. The triple heater is the 3 major heating spaces in your body. It's the 3 areas that do work in your body. So you've got your lower heating space, which is your elimination organs, all your digestion, all the stuff down through there. Then you've got your respiratory area, your heart, your lungs, all of this sort of thing. And then, of course, the head, the mind, all up through there. So the 3 areas that create heat is what they're called. So essentially, a triple heater Qigong is a full body Qigong, rather than like a heart Qigong, which it's a much more specific, even though the triple heater is still focused on one meridian, one area, one-ish area of the body, but the triple heater meridian represents the whole body essentially. So yeah, it is a very nice full body Qigong. Hence the 3 sections in that Qigong. So we're going to do the same thing now, but every time we go down and do this movement, this picking up the stone movement, that's when we're going to squat. So remember your squat that we've just done and squat to what's comfortable for you as we do it. Okay, so we start the same. Relax. Breathe out. Breathing in. Here we go. We're going to breathe out and sink down into our squat. Breathing in. But you're going to stand right up onto your toes this time, onto the balls of the feet. Lock your ankles out, really stretch up to the top, and then push the heels back down. Breathing out. As you open your hands from this position, you can breathe in, because we've got a whole extra movement to do now. So now we can breathe out again as we continue that downward movement. Pick the stone up, breathing in, all the way up onto the toes, and breathe out. Back to the heels. Breathe in and breathe out. Back up, same again. And down. This time we're going to go to the middle section, so we start the same. In breath, out breath. In breath, right up to chest height. Breathe in all the way up. There's that top yawning bit. And then breathe out. Now we can either breathe out to here, and then take an in-breath, just do a little float with the hands, and then breathe out into the squat. most people beginning need that extra breath to feel comfortable in the movement, and that's perfectly fine. You should do it that way. However, if you feel it's better for you, if you feel like you've got enough lung capacity, you can breathe out here and just go straight into the squat on that one out breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now into the upper section. Breathe in. Breathe out. So again, we can breathe out as we sink to the heels, then a little in-breath at the bottom to continue breathing out as we go down. So better to take an extra breath than to feel out of breath. You don't want to feel like you're speeding up to fit the movements in or something. So just to there, then a little in-breath and out-breath. And taking it up. And down. The last one, we don't squat down. You just pick up the hands in front like the first movement again, just rocking the weight to the toes. And pressing in. Okay, we'll do the last section of this Qigong now, called the alleviation of the triple heater, which is where you cleanse the meridian as opposed to building energy through the three spaces and balancing that energy between those three spaces. This one is just releasing outwards. So we're going to do the same kind of movement as the upper section, only this time when you do it, you're going to link your fingers at the bottom, like so. Lift your hands up, but as you're lifting them up, you're pulling them apart, like so. So your shoulder muscles are pulling apart, but your fingers are gripping. So you get this tension in your shoulders as you're coming up. Not too much, just a nice tension. And you're still standing at your heels, but when you release that tension, you breathe out through the mouth and stomp into your heels. You should feel a nice little stomp into your heels as you release that breath through the mouth and release your palms. So we'll do that 3 times. So we start the same as before. Breathing in, weight forward. Breathing out, sinking down. Link the fingers, breathing in. Up, look at your hands as they go up, if you can. Makes the balance a bit more difficult, but build the tension and stomp into your heels and continue down. Breathe in. Same again. See, it's and then body just continues downwards. In breath. And down. Last one, you're going to stand up, build the tension down low and release out the mouth. And that's sort of a gentle one to finish. Okay, I'm going to go through some small sensao this morning. Obviously this evening at 8 p.m. we've got our official instructional class on small sensao. So those of you who don't know the form or who really want to work it and make sure there's nothing missing from your form from scratch all the way through the form, join us tonight at 8 p.m. It's only the second class, so you've only missed the first, or you've probably seen the first class, but in case you haven't, yeah, it's only the second class, so you're still right at those beginning stages. And yeah, each class we're just continuing on from the last, moving through the form. In these classes, however, we're just doing general training. So now we're going to do some small sensao. Other days we might do the Yang Lu Chan's form. Other days we might do more qigong or more stretching or more strength training, more punching exercises, whether that be shadow boxing, just learning how to move the body in the air to gain that recoil. Other days we might hang the bag up and actually hit something. So it varies. We might do some kicking actions as well. Always varying these classes. They're just general training classes as opposed to specific instructional exercises. Right, so let's flow through our small sansa. Let's do it a few times all together from start to finish, and then maybe I'll chuck in a couple of tips for you as we go along. So I'll do a few rounds facing you, then I'll do a few rounds facing away from you. Okay, feet parallel, shoulder widths to start. Nice and relaxed. Let's start the form going this way. So use me as a mirror when I'm facing you. So if I go this way, you also go that way. So it means we'll be doing opposite sides to each other. Then we'll do another round the other way, because of course small sansa should be done both sides, because the end of the form particularly is quite one-sided. Okay, let's try it. Not sure what I did there. I started thinking about what I'm going to do next while I was doing these postures, and then I lost what side I was on. I think we just did it on the other side, the opposite side to what I said I was going to do it on. So now let's do it. I started that way, but then we did the right side. So I'm going to go that way now, and we'll do no. I'm going to go that way now. Sorry, I had a late night last night. I started that way, but I think I must have done 4 of the first move. So we ended up doing the other side, if you see what I mean. Because the first move should be done 3 times, and then you block. If I start that way, I should be doing the first block that way, but I started that way and I did the first block that way. Anyway, let's try it again. I'm going to start that way again, but we're going to go that way then for the rest of it. Here we go. Come on, Eli, wake up. Bang. Yeah, that's right. You got me questioning myself now. Here. So we're doing the first block that way. Into the back fist. Here. Into here. Down. Open. Open. Okay, now let's do the whole thing again, facing the other way so you get a different perspective. Let's start that way. Let's do it again one more time, starting this way now. Okay, today we're just going to go through again, move by move. I'm just going to chuck out a few important details that you may or may not be missing through your form. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So obviously some days we take one posture and really drill it over and over and over again. But some people might have missed those days, you know. So obviously some days I will repeat myself because not everyone comes to every single class because they're general training classes, and it's also always good to revise those certain things. So let's just go through move by move now. I'm not going to call out stuff for every move. I'm just going to call out the things that are particularly commonly missed. So as we come down to this lower block, see that lower hinge arm? Really make sure it's cutting across your body, not lifting up, for example. It's, if I exaggerate, if I do it to the side, it's like, boom, there's the block, and it's, you see? It's traveling that way. It's going around your body, like you're sending that force around your body when that arm impacts. Obviously, the small sansao, as I always say, is not a fighting technique. It's an exaggerated training exercise. In reality, you'd just be standing somewhere here like this. That punch comes in, oof, you'd just be taking it there, boom, 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 and coming through with something much more tight and close in a real fight. But we're exaggerating those movements to help better understand where the structures are and how to generate the power through them. So, up like that. You're hitting your hand with your hinge. You see, I mean, you're hitting down with that hand as well, but the dominant action is the hinge coming through into that movement. When you come forward into pung, boom! Okay? Really make sure that your pung strike, your back fist, is striking. Look where the impact was. It was way out here, okay? Don't try to get the impact here in front of your body. That's not where the strike is. It's a long-range strike. Whoa, boom. Okay, back fists don't work well from close range. If you're that close to someone, you should be using something else, a straight punch or a back elbow or something, or a front elbow if you're close enough for that. But back fists, this type of action from super close like this, I mean, you can do it. You can get some power, but why? What's the purpose of it? You would never want to. If you're that close, this is all tied up. This hand's right here. Why not just hit him with that hand? But if he's over there, you see, whoa, you can reach out with that left hand. Whereas that right hand, it's your backhand. It's further away from him. So it makes more sense to hit him with your left hand. So that's where we use back fists, where we're kind of like maybe fighting here. Whoa, you can use it to swing out and smack someone across the jaw to set you up for some kind of a follow-on. Of course, back fists don't work at all when you're wearing gloves, because they don't penetrate enough to push through the padding of the glove. Unless, of course, you're doing like a big back spinning back fist like they do in Muay Thai. That's different. But these kind of whippy back fists only work with the bare knuckle. Okay, so whack. See where it's turning? That enables you, by striking there, it enables you to turn your whole body to the front. Sorry, that's not what I was going to say. By turning your whole body to the front, it enables you to turn your waist more. That's what I wanted to say. So, if you do the back fist kind of here, you can do the back fist there. Boom! You can still shake your waist and get some power coming out. However, it's restricting the amount you can use your center. As a beginner, you need more movement to feel where that power is coming from and to generate that force. Later on, it can all compress into a smaller movement. So, I'm out here on the corner. I'm getting a full 45-degree twist from my center. So that's a really nice big action, you see, to understand where that movement's coming from. You try to understand center movement by turning your center 2 inches each way, and sure enough, you'll end up just using your shoulder muscles to generate that force. So, whoa, turn your body to the front. Second move is the same. Whoa, second of these movements rather. Boom. Again, exactly the same block. Send that energy around you. Sink your weight into your back leg. Like so. You're not fully in the back leg. You see, there is weight in the front leg. Like 10% or so in that front leg. Okay, this time you're going to reach forward and compress him in with that hand. As the hand comes up the center, boom, and strikes down. So it's a downward strike this time, boom, with the back fist. Cutting down maybe a little bit sharper than 45 degrees, like so. So you're coming whack, and it just circles back in. Obviously, don't finish with your hand down here. It circles back in, so you're back to guard. You don't actually come back to double pung posture in this case. You strike down on the recoil, your hands just come back into a natural guard position. Don't hold the posture. Never pose in a posture at the end of a movement, okay? Because generally speaking, a posture isn't a good guard position, okay? The posture is the strike. The posture, wow, there's double pung, okay? That's where I'm hitting him, bang! Then I recoil out of that movement back to my natural guard position, okay? Then I come into the next move, wow, snake it in, bah, strike it down. Be careful on this one. I noticed this even in myself, in earlier videos of myself. Doing too much opening and closing, okay? It's a very common thing when we get into this opening and closing action to exaggerate it. There are certain things in our bodies when we're moving which we can exaggerate without causing any bad habits. Habits to happen. Habiting habits. So, for example, I don't know, let's say we're doing something like this, like a boom, boom, simple punch like that, bang, bang. Okay, I can exaggerate that and go whack, whack. Unlikely that's ever going to happen. Why would I ever do that? Striking over there with my back hand, whoom, and then striking over there with my back. I'd see, boom, that's where I'd be good idea to do a back fist there, you see. But I'm just learning to understand the body mechanics of that movement. So I'm exaggerating it. So what I'm saying is some movements can be exaggerated and it helps you to learn and understand those movements. Some movements cannot be exaggerated because you learn a bad habit. So the element of this movement here, where we tuck in, the body kind of opens, as in this kind of action is happening in the body. So it opens up, but when I strike, see how the body squeezes down the front like this. I'm closing the body as I attack because it's more of a vertical line movement. It's not a twisting action. I'm not sweeping in from the side. I am turning, but the turn happens first, you see. Then I push down. So be careful you don't do this. You see? Way too much forward tilt on the body. Okay? If that block for any reason doesn't work or he faints or something like that, you're putting your head forward into a very, very awkward and vulnerable position. So if you're going to do that downward movement like so, keep in mind something else just for those of you watching on YouTube and so on. When you see a movement like this, oh, why would you do that? You're dropping both your hands. You haven't got your guard hand up. I know you're all asking those questions. It's because you don't understand the movement. You're not even seeing the application yet. So don't question something, or actually do question it. So ask me a question, type the comments and I'll explain it. But don't say, oh, that technique's bullshit, because you haven't even seen what attack it is yet. What is the other guy doing? What positioning is the other guy in when I'm using this technique? Sure, I would not be using that technique assuming the other guy's kind of, you know, throwing the punch here and the other hand's here or something like that. It's a very specific technique used for a specific situation. Okay, so we're pulling it in. Now, when I push it down, yes, the body does compress down the front, but not to the point where you can't see straight forward on this line. So a good rule for opening and closing movements. Is it 5 to 7 already? Wow. Okay, the wife's just told me it's 5 to 7. We've got to stop in a minute. Oh, no, we don't. We're doing the workout class this morning, aren't we? Is it workout class this morning?
I think so, yeah.
Cool. All right, we're going to do anyone who wants to stay on, we're going to do a 30-minute workout after this. Anyway, just to wrap up this movement, what was I saying? Yes, opening and closing in any of your forms, any of your training, doesn't matter what it is. If you give yourself something to look at, okay, I'm looking here, right? I can imagine this, I don't know if you can see that. No, that's just out of frame. There's a rock climbing wall here. You can climb up. You see, just to prove that it's there, there's a little rock climbing wall for the kids up there. So I'm giving myself something to look at, or I'm looking at the guitar here, the top of the guitar, okay? Looking at the top of the guitar. So when I do a closing movement, if I put that in my sights, and then I do the close, I've lost the sight of where I am, you see? I want to be able to go, boom! Yeah, there's a little bit of this happening. So my head will still kick forward a fraction when I do that movement, but it's like my head, you know, the eyes only tilt just a fraction. So of course the eyes roll in the head. The eyes are here and sort of in the center of the head. As my head tilts, the eyes go up so I can still see forward. But I can still see that target area. So if you imagine like the other fighter about your own size, obviously if he's 7 feet tall, you might not be able to see his head. But a normal sized person, you want to still be able to see his whole body, including the top of his head. If you lean down so much that you can't see his head, you know it's too far. I feel like, oh, I can't. And of course, never do this and tilt your head up and lean forward. That's even worse than doing the other. So yeah, basically when you do that, see, it's a squeeze. It is never a lean or a hinge forward like so. It's just a squeeze and then neutralize it back up. So let's just try that from there. Lift that hand. Wow. Drop it down. Same with that one because that's a downward movement as well. So there's a bit of a downward compression. Bang. The head springs up a little bit and bang. See that? That's as much as you should ever do that movement. If it's doing too much, you know you are doing something wrong there. You're going to train in bad habits from your body. Okay, so we'll leave small sensor there for now. We'll just have a quick little check if anyone's got any questions, because that's the end of that part of the class. We will just continue directly into the next part of the class. We're not going to end the class as such. So, were there any questions on that small sensor?
Eli? No,
Yes.
no question for small Sansao about, I think it was Bagua this morning.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Sansa's later.
Why didn't you tell me at the beginning of the class?
You're the teacher. You got to tell your teacher what to do.
I told you I had a late night last night, didn't I? Oh, sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Shall we do... No, Nick's not free tomorrow, are you? We'll just have to start. Well, I think we'll just have to start next week, or we could do. Oh, we could. No, I'm not here on Thursday.
So if you do another class, I can watch it later.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
If ever I'm just off in my own little fairy world, please do shout at me through the screen. Eli, this is the wrong class. I've got to start looking at my own schedule, don't I? No, I got up. I was the snooze button went off a few too many times, and I was like, "Oh, quick!" And then I had a few extra emails that I had to answer with regard to class. So I had to do those before class, and then I ran down and got this set up, and yeah, completely forgot it was supposed to be Bagua this morning. Yes, so we'll start with the official Bagua class next week, I guess. Yeah.
That gives me more time to practice.
Pardon?
gives me more time to practice the basics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed just now, you know, if I stood in the kitchen on my own doing the art, I get a flow. But like watching you and seeing my mistakes, it's like, whoa, and it throws you off. So
yeah, cool. Excellent. Oh well, at least you're all practicing Taiji as well anyway, so you still got a nice class instead of the Bagua class. But yes, we will remind me to do small Sansao this evening, and and any classes that we're doing. I mean, I don't usually forget those because we've been doing those. I had those scheduled in, but the Bagua one I only just said we'll start that the other day. So yeah, I hadn't logged it into my own brain yet. Anyway, that's the end of the official class, the class. Now I'm just going to do a 30-minute or 25-minute just body mobility movement. Sort of similar stuff to what we were doing in the warm-up, but just taking it a bit further and longer. So you're going to feel, instead of it just kind of warming up your body, yep, okay, ready for class. At the end of the session, you should feel a bit more like, yep, okay, I'm ready to go and sit down instead of do a class. So it's just going to be strengthening your body. But again, all to do with your Taiji movement, your Bagua movement, as opposed to, just doing weight training, like pressing weights above your head or doing deadlifts. Not that there's anything wrong with those type of movements. I enjoy doing them as well. But the movements I'll be doing will be a little bit more focused on the movement principles of Taiji and Bagua. So let's carry on.
1 hour long or half an hour?
Half an hour. The workout will just be half an hour. Yeah. Yeah, I think 1 hour for this kind of stuff would be a bit too long. All right, so we're going to do that now.
We're off. Thank
to see
you.
the wizard. Hello, Autumn. Lovely to see you. Bonjour.
Hello. Okay, have to leave.
Okay,
nice
cool.
day.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, back to stretch.
What am I doing? This one. All right. Still rolling, still recording, everything's good. Yes, let's do some movements. Okay, so what do we do today? We're going to do some floor stuff. We're going to do some... Let's start off with a bit more legs, and then we'll go down into the ground, do a little bit of core and a little bit of shoulder stabilization movements today. Okay, so let's start off with, should we start with those? Let's start with the ones we were just doing to get our bodies a little bit more mobile. We already did them this morning. This pivoting, so turning that foot 135 degrees and dropping that elbow down as close to the knee as possible. If you can, touching that knee on the ground. Spinning it back up, spinning it, dropping the knee, dropping the elbow, reaching this to the rear. Okay, so let's just do a few of those. Let's try 10 of those, and then I'll take you one step on from there. Let's try it this way. I'll face the same direction as you. Okay, let's go. Twist, down, up, twist, down, up. Remember, listen to your own bodies. Keep your knees strong. And if at any point you need a break, just take a little breather and then join back in.
Oh, that's me.
Okay, so when you're doing that one, your standing leg, obviously, keeping that knee sort of in line with the toe, keeping it nice and strong. Your rear foot, just a tip with that one, make sure you keep your big toe on the ground. Common thing is, if I show you this way like that, looking at this rear foot, see that? See how the ankle's kind of twisting to the side? Big toes lifting off the ground. Press your big toe into the floor and it'll keep your knee in the correct line. But the primary thing there is to keep 90% of your weight forward in the front leg, so there's not that much pressure on that rear leg anyway. There are ways of doing it with the weight in the back leg, but that's extremely advanced and you shouldn't be doing that until you've got very good awareness of your own body. Otherwise, if you go just a little bit deviating off the line, you can hurt your own knee. Okay, either do that again or follow me into the next level. If you find the next level too difficult, then just follow me through, but continue doing the first level of that movement. So the only difference is we're going to spin down. Everything's touched, but this time you're going to, why don't I face you this time actually, because I'm turning around. No, that's not going to help. You're still going to turn that way. Forget what I said. You're still going to spin around. Anyway, maybe just watch me once before you because you're going to spin around and you're facing the wrong direction. So just watch me do it once so you know what's happening. Spinning, going into that movement, there. So that's exactly what we just did. But from this position, I'm going to sit down. Okay? Now, a lot of you won't be able to do that, so don't worry. It's a difficult movement, okay? Just do the previous step. So stop there and then come back up. You do it that way. But obviously some people can do it this way, so this is the next level. This leg has relaxed. Then I'm going to come forward, spin back. Notice how that rear leg now is over this way, and as I pivot, it just flicks back up because there's no weight on it anyway, or very little. Pivoting down the other side. See one motion, see how it's just folding into that movement, and then push the weight forward again and back up to here. So if you think you can do that, have a go. If not, then just stop it at that previous level and come back up. Okay. Or actually you might want to go here and just maybe a little sit back or something, just a little bit of something, and then come up. So listen to your own body and see what happens. Okay, let's try that. Spinning down, pivoting back up, spinning down, pivoting back up, spinning down, pivoting back up, spinning down. Do not hurt your own body. Listen to your body. If you feel something's odd, something's not quite right, something is quite wrong, listen to it. Don't damage your knees particularly. This is quite an extreme movement, so as I say, you might be better off doing the previous action, but everyone's at a different level. There's beginners and advanced practitioners following this, so everyone can have a different version of the technique. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, we're going to go into some forward lunges now. Let me just adjust my mic so I can take off my jumper. Get on there. All right. Okay, this one, we're going to go into a forward lunge. I'm going to show you the easy version first, and then gradually I'm going to go into a more difficult version, so you do the version again that suits you. Forward lunge, like so. Okay, you're stretching through that back leg, lengthening through that back leg, heel up of the back foot, sinking down through this leg, just nice and strong. What you're going to do from here is, you're going to come up a little, rotate that rear foot so that the heel places on the ground facing the here. So it'll be facing to the front now, and then sink back down a little bit. Okay, then turn that foot in, turn around to the other side and into that same lunge, but on the reverse side. So I'm squeezing in through here, stretching. Then I'm opening the hips. See, I'm coming up just a little bit, placing that foot down on an angle, and then sinking back down. Okay? Turn it around. Whether you pivot on the ball or the, this foot would always come in with the heel, so toes moving. The front foot, if you feel you need to get longer, maybe you're trying to go lower, so you might want to lengthen your stance. So turn on the heel, it'll lengthen your stance. If you feel you want to keep your stance in a little bit because you're not going so low, you might want to pivot on the toe because it'll pull it in. So vary that depending on the length of your stance that you want. Okay, so let's try that. I'll face this way actually. So if we put our right foot forward facing that way when we turn, you can all keep your eyes on what's happening. Okay, so front lunge, sink, stand up a little, turn that foot, rotate it, side lunge, stand up, sink forward, front lunge, stretching through that rear foot, stand up a little, place that rear foot, side lunge, push up, turn back to the other side, front lunge, stand up, place the heel, side lunge. Remember, if you're in a side lunging position, you can't go past a certain length unless you widen your stance. If I leave my feet here and try to go low, 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 my heel starts coming off the ground. I need to lengthen that if I try to go really low. So listen, you got to figure out the length of your stance as far as the height at which you're going. Here, push around, front weighted stance, so front lunge, open it up, lengthen your stance if you need to, and sink it down. Again, don't go lower than what's comfortable for you. Turn around to the other side, front lunge to what's comfortable for you, standing up, placing that heel down, side lunge. We did these side lunges this morning already on their own. Now we're doing them with the front lunge, stretching the hip flexors, opening it out to the side, side lunge, putting the elbow down to the inside of the knee, opening it out, turning it to the front, front lunge, turn it back, side lunge, bring it back up, front lunge, up, side lunge, down. Okay, let your legs have a little rest. Can you let me know when it's 25 past? Okay, give your legs a little shake. I won't give you too much on this first class so that you can actually walk today and tomorrow. Okay, let's now do a little bit of lifting actions from the legs. Again, very important for your kicking actions and the form, strengthening all through here. Then we'll do a little bit for the upper body by going down onto the floor. Two ways of doing upper body exercises: either put weights in your hands or use the gravity, so use your own body weight on the floor. I won't do too much with the bar yet, because I know a lot of people won't have bars. We'll see how that goes throughout the months. If a lot of people can get a bar in their training room, we'll start doing some stuff hanging from a bar, but I don't think most people have that yet, so there's no point in me showing that kind of stuff. But get yourself a bar, seriously. Best tool you can have lying around your house. Okay, what was I going to do? Lifting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is stand up straight, okay? Most important to stand up straight. This standing leg is really, really upright. Then your other leg is going to lift up as high as you possibly can lift it. So you should feel in here, really squeezing tight. Don't sag down in the standing leg, you see? Push that up. You'll be feeling it in the glute of the standing leg and in the hip flexor of the front leg. Really tall as you possibly can. Drop it down. Same thing. Lift it up. Breathe in. Hold it. Drop it down. Hold it at the top. Breathe in. Hold it up. Tight, high as you can. Drop it down. Feeling it in here. Lift it up. Squeeze it. Tuck your pelvis. Straighten your body up. And drop it down. Standing up. And drop it down. Stand it up. Drop it down. Again, while we're doing this, if you're going, oh, that's just too sore, take a couple of breathers and then jump back in kind of thing. So just take a little rest rather than hurting yourself. One more. Nice and upright and down. Relax that leg a little bit. Just lengthen into that hip flexor, just gently. Don't do a huge big stretch. Never do like a big powerful stretch right after you've done lots of compressing and using that muscle. Just gently open that muscle out a little bit, just so it doesn't get too tight in there. Just you get it used to, oh yeah, we can go this way as well, because it's been shortening for that whole exercise. So lengthen it out just a little bit. I mean, we are lengthening it out each time we put the foot down, but just, again, little bit of stretchy stretch towards the end. Okay, exact opposite of that. Stand on one leg, standing up, tall as you can. Drop it back down, relaxing. Notice the standing leg is also bending when I'm sitting down. Standing up. It's nice and straight. Really squeeze that standing glute. Squeeze that up, squeezing the hip flexors and down. Relax. Again, up, hold, and down. Up, hold, and down. It's not just for kicks, this will also strengthen your body for things like brush knee twist step. It'll make brush knee twist steps feel like really easy because they're easier than this movement that you're doing, especially because you're doing it in repetition on one side, really strengthening on that one side. Again. One more, up and relax. Okay, again, gently open up that rear hip flexor. Relax it out. Stretch it open. Okay.
So
let's go down onto the floor.
No.
I have been trying to find a clock, by the way. I'm looking for a clock that'll fit up in there, but I haven't found one yet, so I'm still checking my computer when I see what time it is. Okay, what we're going to do now is just sink down, like we did earlier this morning, but place your palms on the ground. Walk your hands forward, until you're in a plank, and then walk them back. If you find that too difficult, as you get more pressure on your hands and it's like, oh, it's a bit too hard, just drop one knee onto the ground and come forward. If it's really too difficult, you can drop both knees onto the ground. You're still getting some weight on your shoulders if you're really not used to it. And then again, walk yourself back, lift up a knee, and then as you get closer to your feet, obviously lift your knees up. But most of you should be able to manage it like so. So just walking in and out, pushing your weight back, and coming forward. Controlling, using your core. Okay, very simple exercise, but really, really nice because you're stabilizing, because you're constantly on one hand, so the whole core has to stabilize instead of just holding a static plank. Your whole core is stabilizing every time you lift one hand off the ground. You're, of course, using all your shoulder muscles to stabilize that movement. Using your front delt a little bit more than the side and the rear, but the others are still engaged to stabilize that movement. Okay, this time from here, instead of walking your hands back, you're going to walk your feet forwards. And now, walk your hands back. Just sit back onto your hands like this. Walk it back. You might need to adjust yourself a little bit into the room until you're into the reverse plank. And then walk yourself forward. Again, using your core, just coming into a squat. And then walk it back. Now with this one, you can put your bum a little bit on the ground. Drag your bum. You know, like a dog with worms. Drag your bum on the ground. It'll help you take the pressure off. Just still using your shoulders, you see. You're still moving your shoulders, but you're just putting a lot of the weight, just shuffling your bum across the floor. And that way, oh yeah, you're still getting that shoulder. See, I'm wriggling, but I'm not just kind of going like this and not using any shoulder muscles. I'm still using those shoulder muscles, getting them used to it. But of course, if you can keep your bum off the ground, do that. So 3 levels. Dragging the bum, keeping the bum down but off the ground, or pushing the bum up as you go back. Okay, so keeping the bum right up off the ground as you do it. So you should be able to at least manage the easier version of the technique. Really just, again, stabilizing through. So now, of course, we're using much more the rear delts, the rear shoulder, all the back muscles compared to the front. Using the side delts as well. I find the side delts engage a little bit more with this one as well because naturally the hands are a little bit wider out from your body compared to the front one. Okay, let's come forward again. We're going to do the same thing. Bring your hands around to the front and walk your feet backwards this time. Back into this position. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. Actually, let's, just in case, I sometimes forget to let people have a little break. Let your shoulders have a little relax from that movement. We're going to do the same thing, walking forwards and backwards this time, but with a wider stance in the palms. Okay, so instead of here, working more the front of the shoulders, you're going to widen your stance out of your hands, not your feet. So you're going to be engaging much more of the side area of your shoulders as well as your chest, and more stabilization because the wider your hands are. When you pick up a hand, you're less stable. So you've got to really think about using your core and engaging the correct muscles through your pelvis. Okay, let's try it again. Wider stance. So make it, I'll just do it this way for a second. So from here, just take it at least like a palm width on each side, wider, and then walk forward. Okay, like so. And then come forward, and then back again. You can put your knees on the ground. Put your knees on the ground. You're still using all the same muscles. Just makes it easier.
Off myself.
Forward and backwards, forward and backwards. Keep it going. Breathing, controlling your core. Moving around on the floor like children. It's one of the best things you can do for your body. And relax. Okay. What will I give you now? Okay. Have a little relax just for a moment. Just let your shoulders recharge. We're going to go into a nice opening and closing routine. This really gets the focus on the exterior, the outside of the delts, as well as, again, all the core. Really important. It really focuses on all the stabilization around the shoulder as well. This is what I love most about this technique. It's really good for stabilization of the shoulder. I'll give you the easy version first, and then I'll show you the more difficult version if you want to try that. So again, just relax those shoulders, just move them around a little bit, give them a breather. Okay, so from there, we're going to go into a plank, like so. You're going to bring one foot forward, hopefully in one step, like so. But if not, just kind of, shuffle your foot up as best you can, like so. So this standing leg is up the front, like that, turned out towards the corner from where I'm facing. So I can put as much or as little of weight on that leg. So I can put all my weight on that leg, or I can put all the weight on my hands, you see? So what we're going to do here is you're going to use this leg to take the weight off the shoulder, because you'll probably find the technique too difficult to do in the beginning with all the weight on the shoulder. Okay?
Yeah, that's difficult.
So we're going to use the leg to alleviate and lessen the pressure, but still training the muscles. Okay, so from that position, lift up that rear knee off the ground so your back leg is straight, up like so. Bring your palm a little bit closer to the middle, like so. So opposite hand and foot forward, okay? And then just open your body to the side, like so. So my recommendation is try to put as much weight on that arm as you can manage. Okay, so I'm using my leg just as enough balance so that my shoulder still gets a workout. Now from here, take this hand and thread it through and under your own arm. Try to get your elbows to touch here. Again, most of my weight, or not most, but I'm keeping as much weight as I can on that arm. Then open it back out. Close it back in. Open it back out. Close it back in. So the difficult version of this, of course, is to have both legs back and just do it using your core. Okay? So you're doing it in a planking position. That's probably too difficult for most people to start with. So keep that front leg. Cool, thanks baby. Like so. So yeah, better to keep that leg there. Take the other leg forward. Like so, exactly the reverse of that. With this leg here, it becomes a fairly easy exercise. Up and through. Good job, Clara. Now under your elbow, not under your leg. Through this hole here. Through there. That's it. Good job. Open it out. Breathing in. Breathing 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 out. Breathing in. If you want to take that foot back and try it, you can. Be my guest.
Come on.
Keep it going.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just doing exercise. This is the end of it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Come on.
And back to plank again. Just hold that position. You can put one knee on the ground to alleviate some of that pressure if you need to. Or keep it up. Drop your knees on the floor. Round your back. This is the same as the movement we did earlier this morning. This is just the yoga version. It's a nice move as well. So we do our version standing up. You get a few extra things activated, but this floor version is also really nice to cool down. And then just keep your body in that rounded position. Push up into that angry cat position and push your body back. Relax down and relax. Breathe in, sit up. Press your feet into the ground. Push your wrists into the floor the opposite way to how they've been placed. So not a lot of pressure, just bend them back because they've been in that forward position for a while. Okay, nicely done, guys.
Look
at that, 2 people made it through.
I never.
How did you find that, Adam? Did you manage that?
Yeah, I had to put one knee down right towards the end there on that second side, but other than that, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, cool, excellent.
Yeah, I like those sort of movements, like those real natural sort of movements.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely my favorite thing to do. Yeah. I mean, as I always say, I do also enjoy some of the other stuff as well. I have, like you see, I've got some weights there in the background, and I usually upstairs, I've got like a nice big barbell with the heavier weights. I do enjoy lifting really heavy stuff as well, like a deadlift, you know. But if I could only choose one, I'd much prefer this sort of full body rhythm thing that still uses all your shoulder muscles, uses all your body, but keeps you flowing at the same time. Yeah, so I think. Oh, what's that thing?
It's like a Persian wheel. It's just like a really heavy Indian club.
Oh, right, okay.
And when I say heavy, it's just a shade under 3 kilos, but when you swing it, it feels and
it's top heavy as well, so it's kind of like a big heavy broadsword.
Yeah. I really like that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, no, I enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely some weighted movements are really good.
Oh, definitely. No, as I say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with weighted movements. Even just your generic, like a deadlift, it's one of the most natural things you can do. Picking something up off the floor. You got to, my wife's passed out, got to better pick her up. You got to pick something up from the floor. That's a very natural movement. But for some reason, these modern Taiji people, oh, you can't lift weights because it creates tension, like as if tension somehow is a bad thing. You can't lift something without using tension. But of course, if that, okay, so doing flow exercises with your body, you can never go wrong. You can't do too much of it, kind of thing. Whereas generic, your typical sort of, gym workout stuff that most people do, your deadlifts, your overhead press, bench pressing, all of that sort of stuff. If that's the only thing you do, you'll end up becoming very stiff and your movement will be very robotic because you're not moving, you're sort of isolating certain things. So I think that's why I prefer this overall, but by all means, if you do some of those deadliftings, they're only going to benefit your body as long as you have that balance to the other side of things as well. All right, so so we'll be doing that yeah, Tuesday, if I remember what's supposed to be happening in class, Tuesday mornings, as we've just done, and we'll do that also on a Saturday morning. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
It's fun.
Hope you enjoyed. See you
Yeah,
next time.
Next time.
Cool. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.